Hi guys, welcome to another video by AntiquesArena. My name's Walter Neal, and today's video is going to be a chat, basically, appreciation of all things antique, vintage and collectible. Now, it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 7 years old, you can be 60 years old, it doesn't matter, there's always something to collect. I made a film a while back, where I was collecting with the kids, and we went out and we bought Lego, we bought Match Attack cards, we bought toys. The kids really enjoyed it. My daughter was buying jewellery and she enjoyed collecting the jewellery. But it don't matter how old you are, there's always something to collect. You might like Art Deco, you might like Art Nouveau, you might just like coins or something simple. There's always something to collect. I've yet to find somebody who doesn't actually like something. Now, why do I do what I do? I'm an antique dealer. I go to car boot sales, I go to antique fairs, charity shops, the odd house clearance, and quite rarely at the moment, auction houses. And I do it because I absolutely love the antiques and the things. Now obviously, let's get the obvious out of the way. Money. We do the job for money. Yes. And any dealer will tell you they're out there because they're trying to make money to pay the bills and feed the family. I agree 100%. But if I was going to just do that, I'd go and work in a supermarket or I'd go and work in an office. I do what I do because I absolutely love it. You got the thrill of the hunt. I go out. A couple of years ago, I went down to Splott and I made a film actually while I was out. I bought a beautiful watercolour painting, and that was produced by a gentleman called George Shalders, one of my top finds of the, since I've been doing the films. Paid £30 for it, up for £3,000. Haven't sold yet, but I'm asking a lot of money for it. That's the thrill of the hunt. I go out regularly and I find some absolutely amazing things. So for me, that is where I get my hit, my adrenaline. Some people, they get it from gambling. Some people go out and do whatever. I don't know, but for me the thrill is the hunt of the stock. Now, another reason I do it, if you've ever dealt with the public, I got a shop, and the amount of people that come in over the door and they go, "Oh, Nanny used to have that. I absolutely love that. What beautiful memories that I just brought back." And then they might buy it. But if nothing else, it's invoked that beautiful memory they had as being a child or whatever, or sitting there with granny or granddad on the knee looking at something, or always seeing that in granny's house or mammy's house on a shelf, and it brings back happy memories and a bit of joy for that few minutes. That is what I like doing. I absolutely love it when people come in and they leave the shop happier than when they come in. Now that's a good feeling. Now I get a similar feeling. I appreciate the work that goes into the pieces. Now if you watched my Man Cave haul video the other day, I bought some beautiful modern art. A gentleman in his own garage with his welder making up bits of art. Now one of the most bonkers things I've ever bought was off this gentleman, and he'd made a frame, wooden frame, secured the mincer, an old sausage mincer onto it, welded tools coming into the top and chain coming out the bottom. So as you're mincing, it looks at the illusion that you're mincing tools to get chain. Brand new piece. Hours and hours and hours of love went into making that. Old components, new piece, new construction. The love that went into making it and the imagination that went into making it, I can appreciate. Just like the George Shalders painting I've just recently mentioned. George Shalders died of overworking. That's how much work he put into his paintings. He would physically paint with a couple of strands of hair for some of his paintings, and he died from overwork. He was one of the top 19th century artists. Now, Sotheby's and Christie's tell me in the modern age people don't want traditional art, so they bring the price down on them. Now, to me, the amount of skill and work that went into that was a lifetime's worth of training. I can appreciate it. I really can. Now we live in a throwaway society where you buy toys, they're plastic, you throw them away. We're a disposable society. Now I've got Chinese porcelain in the house from 1750 and 1740 that's been stapled back together and had like a cement put around it, done in the period, and it is as beautiful now as the day it was made. I don't mind the actual staple repairs. I absolutely find them full of character and I love it. So in today, if you broke a plate, you just chuck her in the bin. So there's another area, I suppose, where you're keeping things out of landfill. If you buy antique and vintage, the things you buy in, not only are you saving them from going to landfill, it's less being bought new off the shelves, so somebody else can buy that new. And I tell you what, you'll save some money. If you want beautiful mahogany table, you go to an auction, you can buy a real nice Victorian mahogany table or an oak table for £100, £150. You go and buy a brand new one, you're up £500, £600, £700. You want a chipwood one, chipwood, compressed chips of wood with glue, £300, £400. You want a nice set of chairs, you go to auction, £30, £40 for a set of 6 chairs. You go down the shop, at £80 a chair. You can save some money. Sorry guys, customers just come in there. Try and pick up where I was. So I was saying basically, you can buy the furniture so much cheaper. And I tell you what, it's not just cheaper, it lasts a lot longer. You got toys, die-cast toys from the 50s, 60s. Look as brand new today as the day people played with them. Yet you have a toy today, they break within minutes. I honestly swear we're in a society where things are designed to break, so you have to replace them. Another reason I love my job, I get to own some spectacular things that, in all honesty, I couldn't afford to own if I was just buying to collect. I probably wouldn't buy half of what I buy because it isn't always my taste, but when I get home and do the research, I think, wow, how can I own that? I'll give you a few examples. A few years ago, I bought a dumbwaiter, and the dumbwaiter was a 3-tier table, circular table, for 3 layers. Now, this was solid mahogany from about 1820, 1830, and it was spectacular. Now, I paid £600 for it, and it came with a load of provenance that it belonged to Carmarthen Castle, which is about 10 miles up the road there, and it was bought originally for the house by the William Crochet and the Crochet family, and a year or so later, using an auction house, it's been returned, as far as I know, back to the museum. I might be wrong, but I'm almost sure it went back to the museum, which was absolutely lovely. I offered to one myself and couldn't come up with a price. But I believe they've had it back from the auction house now. So I would never have got to own something like that. Now, the Crochet family, they were the massive influence in this area. They were a huge name. They owned all the ironworks up in Merthyr Tydfil. They built a castle. So, need I say more? The likes of that George Shalders watercolour I've referred to a few times now. It may only be a couple of thousand, £2,000 or £3,000 painting, but I could never justify, with having children, to go out, buy a £2,000 or £3,000 painting and hang it on the wall. Be it for £30. I've enjoyed that for 2 years while it's been up for sale. It's on my living room wall and I absolutely love it every day. A couple of days ago I done a film showing a carved shell, and it had been carved with the Lord's Prayer all over it. Now, I'm not a religious man, however it was a beautiful work of art, and I can appreciate it. There's things I own or handle, own for a little bit, pass on, that I would never have done. So this job really is very rewarding in some aspects. You get to buy quality, and to be honest with you, I've got quality running through the house for a lot less money than what it would have been if I bought it new. Antique is not always the same as second hand, guys. It is quality. It's been around for 100 years, 200 years, it's going to be around for another 200 years. You can't say that about your IKEA furniture. Right? So there's that. You get to own pieces that you would never dream of owning. Diamond rings, whatever. You own some beautiful pieces. You're helping save the planet while saving a bit of money. Every item I buy and sell on is one item less going into landfill. That's where I look at it. This stuff's already been made for 50 years, 100 years, 200 years. The only place for it to go is recycling or landfill. And a lot of what was antique can't be recycled. So that's a good thing. Obviously you make a little bit of money, but I can tell you now, you have days where you don't cover your costs. I've seen me go to car boot sales, pay £25 for my car, my pitch, my petrol and so forth, and make a tenner. Don't think you won't have them days, because believe me, you will get them days. It isn't all plain sailing. Some days you'll make absolutely no money, and other days you'll make a loss. The bad points of this game are there's a lot of fakery going on. And by that I mean there's a lot. The Chinese at the moment are faking all their porcelains. They're faking, believe it or not, you can buy fakes of the coins. I'll give you an example. Recently, we're all doing the Great British Coin Hunt, buying the 50p pieces. You can buy a fake one, identical to the ones from the Royal Mint from China, for £2. Yet the Kew Gardens, if you buy it now, well, you can't get them at the Mint, but if you try and buy a genuine one, £80. But the copy is immaculate. You can't tell them apart half the time. You got to know what you're looking for to know them apart. So that's a downside to it. Obviously, you got all the fakes, so you will lose a bit of money. You're going to get caught with some fakes, and you don't always make a lot of money, but you will get a lot of pleasure. You'll talk to people that come over the door, and they'll come in and they'll compliment your taste, and they'll say how nice the items are, and you know, all things like that. It's definitely absolutely wonderful, that feeling that is, to know when they come in and they might pick a bronze up that I've got, and they'll appreciate that, they'll appreciate the work I put into finding that, and more importantly, they'll appreciate the work a sculptor's put in and the love somebody's put in to create it. So definitely antiques are wonderful in that aspect. They also give you a lifestyle. Let's say, for argument's sake, you want to work from home on a computer. So I'll use eBay for an example. You want to sell on eBay, so you set yourself a limit. I'm going to list 10 a day, every day, all year. So you do your 10 listings, they take an hour. You pack and parcel and ship anything you've sold, another 2 hours. So 3-4 hours a day work, let's say, something like that. That gives you the rest of the day to do what you want. But the freedom of working online means you can list them in the night or in the morning, doesn't matter. If you have a sale in the evening, you can pack it in the evening, which frees up your day to spend with your family. That is priceless. There's not many people get time to be there to watch the first step, the first swim, the first words. But if you're working from home, that is priceless. It's worth having less pay to do that. Then, of course, you got historical importance. You know, you got things like medals. Now, when I hold a death plaque or a death penny, whichever way you want to call them, I get very, very ate up in the stomach. I'm thinking of all the people that died in World War One. Now, a death penny is a bronze medal awarded. Sorry guys, it's really busy here this morning. Normally I manage to get a film made before the public start coming in, but it's been one of them days. As I was saying, a death penny basically is a large bronze, solid bronze medal given to all the fallen soldiers during First World War. And yes, they have monetary value, but at the same time they have an importance, a historical importance, and they need to be saved and, you know, and cherished. At the end of the day, that was somebody's life, but it's everything. Now, I bought a set of 4 prints last week, Hogarth prints, and they are the 4 stages of cruelty, and they basically show in the way life was during the Victorian times. It's very macabre. A lot of people won't like them because it is showing the cruel side of humanity, and then the reward where they were boiling the bones and using bones for medical science and studies, trying to learn about the human body and things. It's all history. You know, you're saving a bit of historical importance. A taboo subject would be ivories and things like that. Now, in some countries now, they've destroyed all ivory because of poaching and things, even the antique ivory. We've had many discussions on it. Some people saying the antique stuff should be destroyed as well, some saying no. Now, personally, my view is no. Others have said, well, you can't tell ivory apart, new ivory from old ivory. Well, you're destroying works of art. What about pianos or violins that are worth millions, that have got little ivory pieces in them and have had them in it for hundreds of years? We're going to destroy those as well. I don't know. Don't know how it's going to work. But things need saving. Every single item I can buy and keep out of a landfill makes me that bit happier. If I can make a couple of pounds on it at the same time, great. But it isn't always about the money. I've bought pieces many a times knowing I'm not going to make profit on them, just wanting to own them and then moving them on, sometimes for a loss, just because I wanted that item, or I bought them for study. You know, I've got a collection of Chinese porcelain plates and other pieces, vases and things in the house that I could never afford if perfect. They'd be £300-400 a plate. They're from 1720. And they've all got cracks and chips and things, and I buy them for study. Most people and dealers would throw them in the bin because they're hardly worth anything because of the damage. To me, they were priceless, because as I read my books, I got the comparisons to compare to. When I'm finished with them, I'll sell her as an entire collection, my books and the porcelains. So even then, they won't go in the bin. They'll be permanent study aids now. So even damaged plates have got a new lease of life through me buying them from a car boot sale for a couple of pounds and putting them aside until the right person needed them, and I was the right person. Anyway, there's probably loads more reasons why antiques are absolutely wonderful and the antique trade is a wonderful way of life, but I can't think of them all. And feel free to leave a comment underneath as to what you love about antiques, what you love about collecting, or if you're an antique dealer or reseller, what you love about the job. Leave a comment. And when everybody goes through the comments, then they'll all see the different reasons behind it. But I can assure you, it is a very, very rewarding job. It's a very, very hard job. It beats you down too. It really does. It can beat you down. You can go weeks on eBay without a sale, and then you think, oh, why bother? But the answer is, if you list and keep listing, you list your way out of it. Don't let the job get you down. It can. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. It's just me having a bit of a ramble today. Tomorrow I'll be back to a haul video. Hope you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.